what we tested on ourselves. But let us give you a little of the background over here. So Slido has always been a remote-friendly company, and we had about 150 people in 30 locations, but still HQ has been a very, very strong location where the culture was forged, where the culture was actually nurtured. And that completely changed in March, like for many, many people and many companies. And we really had to adopt very, very fast. And suddenly, all those people who were based in HQ, they had to start working from home, and all 150 people went into a full remote setup. And obviously, it was like for many of us and for the whole world, a completely new experience. And we sort of sensed that people might be struggling with some kind of challenges. So what we do on a monthly basis is that we run our employee survey, basically barometer, and we're asking people how they are doing, how they are feeling. And to this employee survey, we added one more section that was asking mainly about how they are doing in this new remote setup. And these are the challenges that people actually highlighted. So as you can see, not being able to unblock, loneliness, staying motivated, pretty big things that have a major impact on the cohesion of the team, on the culture as such. So we said like, all right, we need to do something about it. And we instantly understood that if we can't meet in person, in the corridor, around the water cooler, virtual meetings are incredibly important. So we started asking ourselves the question, how do you maintain and foster this company culture in a remote setup? And as I said, we realized that our meetings, or your meetings, as it says over here, are a reflection of your company culture. And they're absolutely essential tool for building trust and managing a remote team. So we are going to share with you in about the second 3 types of engaging and remote meetings that we are using in order to build a remote culture in a remote space. But again, before we get there, we want to bring it back over to you. What meetings are essential for you for maintaining your company culture? Please let us know. Take a moment. This is another chance for you to participate with us. Team departmental meetings, cool. All hands meeting, yes, we're going to be talking about that. Daily stand-ups, cool. Super important as well. Okay, one-on-ones, cool. So we've got a range of meetings over here. All of them sprints planning, which are absolutely essential for running a modern business. But for us to really drill it down onto the essentials, these 3 types of meetings prove to be absolutely critical for maintaining that culture. Monthly all-hands meetings, Monday morning meetings, and also spending some time together during the social meetings. And we are going to share tips for each type of that meeting. And with that, with the first one, I'm going to give a word over to Sylvie.
Thank you, Ray. So the monthly all-hands meetings, I definitely consider as the meetings that we have at Slido. They're definitely the most important meeting, and we run them on the monthly basis. So usually it's the last Friday of the month. So just starting on that, I would love to ask you, how often do you run if you have all-hands meetings in your company? So what's the cadence for you? Once a week, okay. Once a month, once a year. Okay, that's a nice distribution. We have everything there. Okay, the month is winning. Looks like that. So just to give a bit of overview, how does it look like at Slido and what is actually the history. So when we started the all-hands meetings, it was mostly in person. So we have started them in the HQ, but of course we had space for our remote colleagues to join from a big screen. So they were also included in the meeting. And when actually the coronavirus hit, we shifted fully to remote. And it was really cool that actually the satisfaction of the employees increased when we went fully remote and everyone felt more included. And we also paid more attention towards how to work with all the employees and the interaction during the meetings. So we actually went from about 5.32 to 5.6 out of 6 in the evaluation. So as you can see, there is also almost all company picture. Yeah, we can move forward. So I'm just gonna tell briefly what is actually covered during this meeting. We usually start the preparation a week ahead. So with the executive team, we are always discussing what are the topics that we want to cover, and we always cover first proposal numbers for the previous month. So we are going backwards. And we also have to share some customer stories. So someone from the customer-facing teams is sharing some interesting stories, some interesting use case from our customers, how really Slido helped them, and what is the impact that we did. It can be either positive, either negative. Some really interesting learning, and it's always a great part with a really good rating from the employees. But of course, all hands meetings are often about strategy and some updates. So we are also doing product updates. What are the new features that we have? What are some strategic updates, and what is the status of our objectives and key results and goals that we are working on? Another important part are the team updates. So either we have some newbies joining, or if we have some people changing positions, if we have some meetings that we would like to talk about, this is the part where we are doing this, and we are always also celebrating, for example, anniversary. So we are always celebrating each month who joined Slido, and there is also one more special part about Silent here that we're going to speak about further. And then, of course, actually the most important part is the Ask Me Anything part, or the Q&A part, where we dedicate quite a big bunch of time to this, and we are going to talk about it also a bit more further.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Sylvie. And since this agenda might look sort of like a similar to you, and many companies run a certain version of that, like there are certain secret ingredients that we learned that work pretty well in order to boost that rating with our team, and really make our all hands meetings a highlight for many people on the team. And the first thing is that invite or get a co-facilitator, for your presenters, whether it's a CEO or whether it's an executive team. Don't let them run it on their own. And as you can see over here in the picture, it's myself. I've been a co-facilitator to our CEO Peter on the left ever since we started running all hands meetings, which means almost 5 years ago. And the role of a co-facilitator is actually threefold. So what I always do at the start of the meeting, all hands meeting, I try to set the stage and talk about the main topic we are going to talk about. That's exactly what Sylvie said. Prior to the meeting, we talk about the main topic, but I try to make it fun, ask a poll question, or we just put up some virtual mask around the Halloween, just to really set the stage and make it a little bit fun. Then throughout the meeting, I actually monitor the incoming questions that people are submitting through Slido, and if something relevant comes along, I just ask the presenters straight away. So we would like to keep the dialogue going throughout the whole all hands meeting. And the last and potentially the most important part of being a co-facilitator is to run and be a partner in the Q&A or Ask Me Anything section to our CEO and to the rest. So instead of them just reading dryly the questions from the screen, I act as a moderator and read the question and then pass it either to the CEO or somebody else on the executive team that is, equipped to answer that question. And it makes such a huge difference. So that's tip number one, or first secret ingredient that we are using. Sylvie.
So I'm going to continue with the second secret ingredients, and we love to use Slido, of course, taking our own medicine for the meetings. So we love to celebrate our silent heroes, and this is definitely like one of the most heartwarming parts of the all hands meetings that we have. So we open a poll in advance, so people who are outside of the time zone, they can already submit their silent heroes as well. And basically what is it about is really just to celebrate and to highlight anyone who did a really good job or made someone smile, or just really did something really nice. And we always do this really nice bird cloud where the most submitted names are bigger. And then, of course, there's also a hidden part with comments, which we're then sending after the meeting to our colleagues to also let them know what was the feedback and what people say. So this is really something to give an extra injection of energy and some appreciation. And as I'm also part of the people team, it's definitely one of my favorite parts because it's super nice to just read through the comments. So I do that every all hands, that I just open the feedback and I'm reading through that because it's super, super sweet.
And this morning, actually, I got a note from the past All Hands meeting that I have become somebody silent hero. It was so encouraging and so nice to actually read along with the comment, and it always boosts one's energy or just the motivation to work, and it's a really nice thing to do. And Sylvie is doing a great job along with the people team on distributing all those notes that are collected during the All Hands meeting. Next secret ingredient that turned our All Hands meeting is that we're using, in fact, a quiz to deliver the business numbers. And the business updates or the business stats can be really dry and really discouraging, and people might actually lose the attention. So we try to really spice it up by running a quiz with the business numbers that we want to share with people. So as you can see over there, there's an example question that we used, but the whole point over here is twofold. First of all, you are able to deliver complex numeric information in a fun and an engaging way, and people have to think about their answers, so they instantly engage with the numbers and with the stats. And secondly, as a presenter, you get the instant feedback that the team is actually listening, that they are not, checking the Facebook or posting another picture on the Instagram or doing the work when they should be actually, they're encouraged to be paying the attention. So we are delivering the business numbers in a form of a quiz, and even though it's super serious, we just try to make it a little bit lighter and inject some fun to it. So ingredient number 3.
So we have already mentioned this one, so it's not so secret, but definitely the Q&A part is, as I said, the most important part of the All Hands meeting for us. And it also always shows as the favorite part of our employees. So they are always giving the biggest shout out exactly to this Q&A part. So we dedicate about 20 to 30 minutes, which is actually 1/3 of the entire meeting, to the Q&A. And of course, we are using Slido for that. So what we do and what are 3 tips I would give here is that we are really allowing people to submit questions in advance. So there are many ideas or many insights that they're gathering through the week, so they can already submit their questions. And we're also encouraging them to upload the ones that they like already before the meeting. That also allows us in advance to prepare or to think about some of the questions. And another thing is to have a moderator to really help to basically facilitate the discussion and to distribute the questions to the people who are the most eligible to answer them. And the third one is the third tip would be to also follow up and even though there is a lot of time dedicated to this, we never manage to answer all of the questions because there are really, really a lot of them. So what we do is that we either do a video recording for the ones that we didn't manage, or we do them in writing. So we really always respond to all the questions that our employees have. And that's really, really valuable to be transparent and to answer everything that is on the mind of our colleagues.
Cool, thank you, Sylvie. And again, we would like to hear from you. We would like to engage with you. What is your secret ingredient of your All Hands meetings? These are some of the tips that prove to be working for us, but we would love to hear from you, right? What proves to be working for you? How do you spice up your All Hands meetings or meetings in general that you are organizing? What is your secret ingredient? Just let us know in a second. And we'd love to hear some tips from you.
Cześć Olu, wiesz co, ja jestem na szkoleniu, jestem na nim do 16, więc tak tylko odbieram informacyjnie.
Okay, music. Yes, we actually invite our colleagues with the multiple talents to perform sometimes some tracks. The last All Hands meeting, it was about playing some Christmas carols, so we had some live music. I'm not really sure how we are going to replicate it this time, but jokes, cool. Demonstrations, awesome. Shout-outs. Themed backgrounds, that's a cool one. Yes, it's a lot of fun. we tried it as well, and that was just that worked really, really well for us as well. Cool. Well, very well. Thank you so much for sharing your secret ingredients. Let's take a look at the second type of meeting that has become absolutely key for us, and it's Monday morning meetings. And Sylvie, you run all of these, so please tell us how we actually do that.
Sure. So the Monday morning meetings are quite difficult for me. I'm not really a morning person, so I'm struggling with these a bit. But luckily, our CEO is the one who is running them, so I'm just helping with the preparation. And they have been with us since the very beginning of Slido, so they are run from the basically day one, and they're on a weekly basis. So we run them every Monday on 8:30 for Slovakia. So for some of our colleagues, it's night. For some, it's afternoon. But we always do a recording, and basically, Just if you can go to the next slide. It's usually about 10 minutes long. So it's, I wouldn't say even 10 minutes long, 10 minutes short, because it's super quick, really just focusing on the key highlights. And as I said, our CEO is preparing it in advance to go through the last week's numbers. So what were the highlights and what is ahead of us for this week. If we have some newbies on board, which is happening like usually once or twice a month, we are also introducing them. And trying to also include some of the colleagues who are on the call, just really giving some updates and announcements. Of course, as I said, it's not Monday morning for everyone. We're also making sure that we record the session all the time and we save the slides and we have it stored somewhere for the people who can join.
Yes, and as Sylvie said, this has been our tradition from the inception, and I've been with the company for past seven years, and I think I missed maybe one or two out of those Monday morning meetings, and it's a really great way how to kick off the meeting on a high note, and it has become to us like to many people going to church on Sunday morning, so it's really become a part of our DNA. Cool, but obviously, like the meetings are not just about the business. Like we put a lot of energy and focus on socializing and just like bringing people together during the meetings and doing something else outside of just like the business. Let me share a few tips over here. This is actually, as Sylvie said, like taking our own medicine. So I'm sharing what we have taken over here. Virtual coffee like this has become our tradition in the brand team that I'm leading. And on a weekly basis, we just meet for 30 minutes and we socialize. We either talk about a certain topic or then we just like engage or play a certain icebreaker. And in the past, we used to keep it like a pretty open. It was not structured. It was like a so-so. What I did as a lead, I gave my team members the responsibility to run these meetings every week, but somebody else runs them on a weekly basis. So they actually rotate and they come up with some great ideas. Like this is an idea from the last one. And our colleague Nadia came up with a virtual scavenger hunt. So we had 5 minutes and we had to accomplish 20 tasks by moving around our apartment or office, and we had to bring those items to the Zoom and then just like show them to the camera. And it was a lot of fun and a great way how to bring actually people together. The other day, we did another exercise with drawing on the whiteboard, a short drawing about how we are feeling about that particular day. And again, then based on that, we engaged in the conversation. So I would say if you are a team lead, give people on your team a responsibility to come up with some kind of a social activities, and they will absolutely love it because they will not be just passive observers, but they will become an active team members. So that's a social meeting tip number one.
Yeah, and just speaking about those, we are doing them also in the people team, and I can also just recommend them on a weekly basis, because if you have the regular team meetings, you don't really get the time to really spend some quality time together and to have some fun as well. So what we did during the last people coffee, as we call them, we came up with this random list of questions that our colleague found online that couples are asking each other to fall in love. So we play this. We went through these random questions to really get to know each other. Like if you could be one movie star, who would you be, and these kind of things. So this is the new activity that we have for our coffees, that we are playing this game. It's really a lot of fun. But moving to another super cool activity that we have are the couch talks that we do. And yeah, as it sounds, it's some talk on couches that we had. So we also started running them in the HQ, as you can see on the picture. Right now we are doing them also fully remotely, but it's a super nice way how to also get to know each other, how to relax a bit. And basically we have always a moderator who is inviting some guests from the company. So it's either some newbie that we would love to get to know, or it can be also some, I don't know, like founder of Slido, or someone who is within the company for many years. So there are like always someone different. We also invited some external guests, and of course we are using Slido again to gather some questions from the audience, and to really get to know each other well. So it's really just an informal chat, and it's a really nice way how to socialize.
Yes, it stuck with us even in the virtual setting. So we really like to speak with one another and put people on the team to the spotlight. And talking about the team, again, an activity that has been super popular among the Slido members is the team quiz that we run on a regular basis. So this could revolve around a certain topic. This is a screenshot, for example, from the pop quiz that our former colleague Susanna actually ran, or actually our colleagues took it to the next level, and especially those who love music. So they came up with a music quiz where they just play a few tunes, and people have to guess the name of the song. So you can really elevate the team quizzes by involving other senses as well. And this is again like a quick tip for any team leader or for anyone in general. Like, get those talented people involved in a social meetings or all hands meetings. They love to sort of show off and show their talents, and really entertain the rest of the team. So this is a great activity that the whole team sort of fell in love, whether it's a traditional like a pop quiz, or then just elevate it and do something extra with the music quiz. But it's obviously not just about the meetings. We do some other things that Sylvie has been working on.
Yeah, so for example, one really interesting activity that we do is the monthly pulse check and the biannual barometer, which are really like similar activities. It's basically an employee satisfaction survey, but super sweet, and short. The monthly pulse check actually consists just out of 5 questions, and it's a rating poll to really find out what is the atmosphere in the company and how are people doing, to kind of monitor the atmosphere, how it's evolving through the months, and also to see what is the impact maybe of some changes and so on. And the biannual barometer is a bit longer, so that's more into depth to really find out what are the struggles and what are the feelings of our employees on 3 different levels. So going both on personal level, in team level, and also on a company level. And that gives really interesting insights and important insights for us as for the people team, and also for the executive team to help set the priorities and eliminate maybe some of the struggles. And that's actually also where we found out that people are missing more social activities, so we started to run them more often and so on. So this is the source where we are getting all the insights. Another thing that we are doing is the weekly newsletter that is done by me and my another colleague who is helping me with that. And that's done every Monday, and I'm putting together all the important updates and links that have to be mentioned, or that had to be mentioned, and we need to remind people about them. So in case that you are going for a vacation and you really don't want to scroll through Slack and 100 different channels, you just open the newsletter and you find everything important there, including some nice intro, numbers, highlights, birthdays, so like everything that you really need to know. And then of course Slack is one of the key channels that we're using for communication at Slido. And there are 3 channels that I would highlight. First of all is random, where people post like really all different kind of random messages, from funny things to selling a car or like really whatever. So that really helped to steer up conversations. And we also have like on Thursday we are driving like a really random questions there. So we post there a question like, for example, what was the first concert that you have ever been to, or what is the most useless thing at your place or house, and people are then posting their pictures, videos, and just like memories, whatever. So that's super cool. And for me personally, my favorite channel is the thank you channel, where we can thank really anyone for anything, or to give a shout out to our colleagues. And that's super sweet. So if you just really want to thank someone, you post it there, and you make a day nicer to not only that person but also to everyone who is reading that. So these are my 3 favorites. What about you, Yari? What is your favorite?
Yes, absolutely. Like the random channel is pretty random, and that's I would say where the Slido culture really shines. It's uncensored. People post really who they are and the stuff that they live by. So random is usually the very first channel that people always check when they join. It's like, at least that's the case with myself. Suvi, thank you so much. And maybe just the final thought, just to wrap this up. And that would be that really the culture will not really happen on its own. And especially in this remote setup, when people might feel isolated and sort of less motivated. And you as a lead, you as a team member, you have to be really intentional about creating and nurturing this culture, so people really feel well in your team or in your company. And hopefully these were some of the tips that will help you run and nurture that culture in your company. And with that, I would like you to encourage to submit any questions that you might have for us. We